Hello folks, welcome back to the channel. Farmer EnvoyXtreme here, and today we're going to be doing a little interesting test and see whether or not this crop yieldage gets affected when you're harvesting in rain and snow compared to just harvesting normally. So I'm going to be doing 9 tests in total. So I'm going to be doing 3 crops. So I'm doing barley, cotton and corn. And yeah, plan is going to be harvest each of them in dry, rain and snowy weather. Thankfully at the moment, test 1 is ready and it's raining at the moment. Ignore the weather icon on the top right. Yeah, I had to change the times a bit so we get snow in the winter, but yeah, I was able for a few months yet, and we hop into the combine. And yeah, you turn on the harvester on, it says harvesting while in rain reduces the yield. And I'm sure when it's actually snowing, as in snow is falling onto the ground, that's going to be the same message I'll get coming up. So yeah, I'm going to do 9 tests with barley, cotton and corn. With the barley, I am also going to be testing the straw, so I'll go and grab a baler or the forest pickup. I've got somewhere in the corner. And yeah, so what I'll do is, get the testing done, and then bring things back later on when we're almost done, and then we'll go through the results, including a nice little handy table that will show everything clearly. And to also quickly interject here before I get cracking on, so crop destruction is off, and in terms with the fields, they're going to be 95% yield bonus. So obviously it doesn't matter between the different crop types, all that matters is it's the same exactly for all the crops for each 3 tests in terms of, barley rain, barley dry and barley snow. So yeah, my aim is going to be 95% bonus, as that's very easy to achieve, whilst just turn off a few settings. So yeah, got no stones or anything like that. So yeah, just thought to quickly interject here before I get cracking on, and I'll see you folks in a couple of hours. So, has been a few hours, hasn't been just a couple of hours, it's been a fair few hours, but we are done, and yeah, it took a bit longer than planned. Part of it was because I messed up with the cotton test, and yeah, had to redo those. Also, I did redo the barley field, obviously from where I left it. I wasn't too sure about the whole weather situation, so I made sure the weather was actually dry, wet and snowing. And yeah, what I'm going to do is put up some charts, because yeah, we're going to be looking at 2 charts. So obviously one of them is, does rain or snow affect the crop yield? And the second one's going to be, how does this impact you financially wise in terms with actual money? And to say the least, the results were very interesting. So obviously if we look at the first table, so obviously I did barley, cotton and corn. In terms of the yield, so obviously remember this was a 8.89 hectare field with a 95% field bonus, which means we did mulch and roll the field. So all that to be considered. So barley, I got 166,467 litres. The straw I picked up using the TARDIS. Where is it to over here? Yeah, the TARDIS Volkswagen by Mrs. Umatana. Now, in terms with whilst it was raining, the yield dropped by close to 50%. So actually, it dropped by like 49.997%. So basically 50% to 53,234 litres. However, with all that saying, we lost half a yieldage in rain. The straw, on the other hand, was not impacted at all. So, in terms of overall drop, it was like in terms of the difference, it was like a 1.8% difference. So, before we had, let's just say, 568,000 litres, and that dropped down to 559,000 litres, give or take. So, yeah, a small droppage in yieldage for the straw. However, that didn't have an impact when it comes to, we lose half of a crop in the rain, so Yeah, that was interesting, but not as interesting as the snow test because I'm glad I did this for all three crops because, yeah, I could say, just do the barley and, yep, the results were fine and I could justify it for all the other crop types. But I want to use different headers, different bits of equipment, so in snow that dropped out to 166,464 litres, so that is only a difference of 3 litres. And in terms of the actual percentage difference, that's like a 0.0018%, so basically negligible whatsoever. And in terms with the yieldage for the straw, so in dry we got 568,000. In the snow we got 459,000, so yes, we did lose a couple of thousand litres. In terms with how I've lost all that straw, the difference there, so in snow it was a 1.6-ish% difference, and in the rain it was a 1.8283% difference, so obviously I cannot explain that, so I've had to put a guess on what it was, so obviously when you're collecting straw, where it's baling or whatsoever, there is a thing where you do get some phasing in the texture, so perhaps I lost a little bit there through the phasing of the textures, and in the testing, I had a situation where, yeah, I had patches of looked like straw on the ground, but they weren't able to be picked up, so yeah, maybe I lost a 1,000 or 2 litres overall. However, in terms of the actual financial difference of 900 litres of straw, that is like £150 difference here where I'm talking about, so yeah, that I'm not too interested in, and obviously feel free to look at the rest of the tables here, so cotton, sim story, 86,000 litres of yieldage, in the rain dropped down to 43, in snow was 86,000, with corn in the dry it was 159,600, in the rain that dropped down to 79,800, and in terms with the snow it was exactly the same. Actually we gained 7 litres in snow, so yeah, there is a couple of litres here and there is negligible. So yeah, in terms of my notes, so you don't get straw on settled snow, and what that means is when it's snowing, eventually you get a period of where the whole map has like a mask over of snow. In that case, you do not get any straw dropping down, so just have a little note on that. And I did a side test with snow when it was actually snowing versus snowing and settled snow with soybeans, and the actual soybeans field was like one of these fields over here. So if I go into drone mode, so it was like one of these fields over here that is soybeans, and yeah, did get a difference of 1%. However, yeah, 1% difference may be significant. But saying that, it was only 0.75 hectares. In terms with a research difference, that was a difference of 60 litres. So, obviously, if I did a larger test, which I was tempted to do, but I didn't because just felt like at that point was a bit of excessive data gathering. So, long story short of that, there is no difference in snowing and snowing versus settled snow when it comes to crop yieldage because, yeah, snow doesn't have an impact on yield. And yeah, so that's it. Yeah, it says, yeah, snow doesn't impact the yieldage. So, yeah, that is that. And what I do is put something in the background here a sec whilst we talk about the financial situation of this. So, right, to wrap this up, we're going to talk about the financial impact. And yeah, got something in the background, so I'm not just facing and chatting at the same time. So yeah, in terms with the financial aspect, so for the barley, income we've gotten from that is £191,000. And in terms with the straw income, that would be in a bonus 86,000, meaning that we've had a total of 278,000. However, with obviously the yield dropping in the wet of just 83,000, so this, so yeah, basically half the yield. Obviously, your profits will drop to around about half of £95,635. That would have meant a overall loss of £95,634. So, yeah, long story short is, do not harvest in the rain, and even if you get the straw, so in the wet, straw income was £85,000, so obviously it helps to add on to the loss of 180,000 we would have had initially. So if I consider the straw prices for both, we're still losing out £97,000 overall in terms with the barley. Cotton is obviously going to be the most profitable out of the lot in terms with the ability to work it, and is it effective over time in terms with how much pounds do you get per hour of game worked. So, but yeah, regardless, that's for another test another time, and I know Scrofty has done a test on that. But yeah, cotton, same field, same yield bonus. We got 368 grand from that out of that 86,000 litres. And yeah, in terms of wet, yield dropped to half, so that meant we lost £184,000. And corn, same thing. Corn dry, 245,000. In the wet, we dropped down to £122,800. So yeah, overall, you are losing now, and just for these three crops alone. So yeah, in terms of how long they take to do, I think it's about, in terms of not using seasons, you are going to take, what, 7 months each, so 7, 14, 21, so 20 or 21 months, because I can't remember off the top of my head what is the exact, was it, growth time for these. So yeah, if I was doing all three crops in cycle, back to back, that would have meant we have lost, was that, 2, 3, £400,000 we would have lost. So if I did all three crops again, harvested it in the rain, collected the straw from wherever it is applicable, yeah, that would have meant I would have lost £400,000 overall. So yeah, in terms of my notes, I did obviously the peak prices of everything. So these prices, as again I've mentioned it in my notes in below here. So economy setting was on easy, and I did use the guaranteed crop prices mod by Disturbed Simulations, just so I had a bit of a fair impact here. So in terms of the actual prices, I'll show you how I got these prices. So go to our crop prices. So looking at straw here, obviously at the moment I could get £148 for it. However, I did not look at that. I looked at the chart below. So in this case for straw, peak price potentially is £153, give or take. I have seen that gone above that, so yeah, just a note on that. Barley, same thing, 1,146. And actually, in my results, I got 1,149. So £3 difference there in terms of the estimate cost, peak price. But yeah, looking at the chart here, I'm getting 1,166. And then yeah, corn 1491, 1539, and in my spreadsheet, yeah, I got 1539. And cotton, the peak price is 4272, and I got the same here in my spreadsheet here. So overall, TLDR is do not harvest in the rain. You can harvest in snow, even though you will get impacted by the snowy weather. So yeah, just be careful about that. Things like iciness, snow impacted the ground, especially with deformation in FS25 is a thing, big time as I noticed. So obviously in my testing I wasn't impacted by the snow much because I wasn't transporting between fields, and even the fieldwork itself, outworking speeds, yeah, I was not impacted at all really, to be fair. So it's what it is. And if you do harvest in the rain, especially if it's like some barley, corn or oats, please, for the God's sake, get collected straw, because yeah, in this test here, half of our money that came in from the wet, the moist barley was from straw. Yeah, I don't know why I said in that particular way. So yeah, like the barley in wet, that was like 5 grand. And we got 85 grand in straw from that, so that's like over half of it actually, almost. Well, almost half, give or take, so yeah. Please collect straw in general, and yeah, just to remind you, if you do in barley, wheat or oats, do collect a straw. Yes, it's going to be quite a bit of a tedious work, but yeah, on this field here, I'll say this is a fairly decently sized field, so I think this was two fields merged together, if I'm not... Actually, was it two fields merged together? I can actually find that now. So, yeah. It was two fields merged together, but overall, 8.89 hectares. Yeah, that is a fair size. It ain't too big, ain't too small. It's a decent size, so that's why I did a large test. I know other creators would have done something like this, of doing like a 0.75, 1.5 hectares in terms with testing area. And yeah, you'll get the same results, but I like to make sure my percentages are exact, because as I shown with my soybeans, I had a 1% difference in one of my side tests for soybeans, but if I did the same soybean test on this field over here, that percentage would be remarkably different. So overall, yeah, don't harvest in the rain, harvest in the snow, collect straw, and yeah, I have waffled along enough now, so this has taken a lot longer than planned, and I do apologise for this coming out later than planned, because I had originally this was planned to be uploaded on Monday. This is only being finished now on Wednesday, so it'll be Wednesday night into Thursday morning, because yeah, I've got 3 days on mods to catch up on, and I will be doing mod reviews for all 3 days, and including some today and yesterday. As I'm recording this on Wednesday, got some huge mods dropping, so yeah. I think that is where I'm going to leave it for today. But as always, apologise there, dogs was barking in the background as I was trying to do the outro, but anyways, if you've gotten to like this and found it was helpful and informative in some way, shape or form, leave a like, consider subscribing, share it if you want to. But anyways, this is me farmer EnvoyXtreme, happy farming, and I'll see you all very soon.